God, I love how I did my makeup today. Good enough to go out? I don't know. What would I get if I went out? Nachos? Those sound pretty good. But they did give me pretty bad indigestion last time. And it's hard to eat with makeup on. Pizza? Pizza? Oh, pizza! Pizza! Mustache!
Metal!
So, I have been obviously in my previous YouTube videos trying out voiceovers, which I feel are just a little difficult for me because I have a hard time articulating kind of what's going on and such like that. So, I'm gonna start trying some talk-throughs? Yes, I was about to say talkovers, but talkovers sounds like tacos. I recently asked on Instagram what you guys would want to see, a foundation video or a contour video, and luckily I did film both. I'm gonna put this one out first. This will be my contour. So right now I have a full base. I have my foundation, my eyebrows, everything's done. I left the contour for last. I usually do not do this. I usually do this right after my foundation, but I wanted to be pretty. I wanted to be pretty for you guys. I haven't seen you in a while. Also, don't mind my messy ass wall. I sit on a box to do my looks at a really old shitty desk, and so to get up I have to push myself up with the wall, and I usually have really dirty fingers, you know. First off, I kind of wanted to talk about cheekbones and how I feel about contour and such like that. So for the longest time, before I really got super into makeup, you know, I've always had a very round face. It's just gotten maybe a little rounder through any weight gain I've had. I do have generally a very round face. My mom used to call it a moon face. I hated it. So I've always been trying to contour my face in any way possible and get cheekbones since I really don't have any. So I used to really just feel that it was mainly just a line from here to here. And that may work for some people, but for me, I have to really sculpt out my cheekbones. I think that the art of contouring your face isn't just about, oh, I put this line here because that's what I'm supposed to do. It's about what works with your face. My advice would definitely be to feel your face. Feel where your cheekbones are. Really, maybe when you don't have a full face of makeup on, but really feel around where your cheekbones are. I definitely feel that understanding your face and understanding, you know, what you want from your face is the first step. I definitely do want to try to slim it here a little bit. I like to go in around my chin a little bit as well, very lightly, and just right under my face as well. Find out definitely where I want my cheekbones. I don't do just a line from here to here. I sculpt through them. I start off with the base of my contour with usually a cream makeup. What that will do is just hold the contour pretty well and just kind of give a base of it. I always use my RCMA VK palette. I know it's so dirty. Oof, God. I sometimes use it to mix makeup on. I'm gonna go in with the lightest shade here. It's so pigmented and it's hard here in the palette, but when you warm it up, the makeup kind of warms up and gets creamier, and you really don't need much. So I just take a little bit with my finger, and I'm going to, oh God, see, I have glitter on my face. I have glitter on my face. Always. I have glitter no matter what I do with my life. I'm gonna start kind of sculpting out where my cheekbones are. And I know it looks super dark right now, but bear with me. It's all good. And then I will just do a little down here. Boop, boop. Take a beauty blender. I actually used this earlier for my foundation, but you know. And I'm just going to lightly blend it. Now, with how I do it is you need to kind of pay attention to the way you're blending with your beauty blender. So for instance, when I'm blending down here, I want to pull the product down. and kind of just barely touch it on top, but you don't want to bring it up because with contouring you're trying to mimic shadow and light. So let's say if a light was hitting you from the top, let's say the sun, okay, the sun is above you in all its brilliant glory, you know, your under your cheekbones would have some shadow, under here would have some shadow. The shadow wouldn't creep up around. So with this now, I'm going to mainly pull it down, but if you think of how something curves, okay, so think of how an object would curve. The shadow would be down here, of course, but it would also just barely come up a little, because if you think of a ball even, it doesn't go from just shadow to light. You have that small transition. It's just like with blending an eyeshadow with anything. You need to have that transition, even just a little bit, to make it, give it kind of that natural look, because you don't want just some harsh line and then, you know, your cheekbone. You want it to blend nicely. So I'm just mainly bringing it down, and then I'm just barely bringing it up a little bit, but the focus is down. My cheekbone would kind of mellow out right here, so I just kind of blend it nicely around. That one I just kind of blend out so that a gradient effect like that almost, so that it's not just this harsh boom. It's cheekbone back into skin. This one I blend more down towards my hair, because you would want the harshness obviously to be more towards your hairline, because that's where more shadow would be. Right, so now that I've done the base of my contour, I use this amazing Morphe brush. It's the M460. It's nice and flat. It's so perfect. If you have cheekbones already, I'm sure it's great for you too, but it's perfect for me because what I do is I use this to literally push where my cheekbones would be, right in there, where that deep shadow would be. Now with my Anastasia contour kit, you can see I love the shit out of that banana shade. God damn. I use Fawn from that palette, and I'll just lightly tap it on this brush and start just going right under where that cheekbone would be. You want to round it out a little bit here because naturally the light, if it was hitting you, it would have that gradient up here as well, because you mainly do, you know, it's that old rule of making the three. It would be darker here. You wouldn't want just light, light, dark. You need to always keep in mind the way your face naturally works with sun or with any type of light. Because that's what you're doing, is you're manipulating how the light would hit your face with makeup. I also like going in with Java from Anastasia Beverly Hills, another kind of neutral, cool shade. And again, with the Morphe 460 brush, right up against my cheekbone. After I'm done doing that, I then take a kind of fluffy brush, but more for obviously kind of contour and blush and stuff. This is a blush brush from Bhumi Brushes. I as well love their brushes. They're so nice. They're amazing quality. I take it clean and I just really blend all around here. And notice the way I'm holding the brush so that the edge that usually causes a harsher line is towards where the harsh line of the contour is. and so it just nicely blends it out. I'm going to show you guys some of my favorite highlighting products to use if you're ghostly pale like I am, or if you're not. I'm sure these would look absolutely beautiful on YouTube. First up, I have my MAC Soft and Gentle, if that would ever fucking focus. Come on. There we go. And then there's the front in all of its beautiful glory. I have High Beam from Benefit. It's pretty fucking amazing. I love the Artist Couture Diamond Glow Powder in Conceited. One of my favorites, if it would focus. The NARS Dual Intensity Eyeshadow in Cassiopeia. Is that right? Upright? No, there we go. If it would. Then I'll show you guys the inside. It's very pink. It has this amazing kind of pink sheen. Last but not least is the Krylon Shimmering Events Foundation in Silver. I love it so much. It's so beautiful on pale skin. But today I am going to be using High Beam and the Artist Couture Diamond Glow Powder on top. So what I do with High Beam is I just put a little bit right above my cheekbone. Take a beauty blender and I just lightly blend it around. Of course I wasn't recording when I just put that in my eyes, but I'm just going to add a little more. So every time I do highlighting, I usually always add some to the inner corners of my eye as well. That's just going to kind of open them up a little bit more. So I just get out some of my Conceited. I'll show you guys the color. Oops. My bra was falling off. Okay. Sorry, bra, but I don't want to show my boobs to the world. Thanks. I'll show you up close. It's just beautiful. And I just lightly go over the top of what I just put down. There's always time to go back, of course, and add, so I grabbed a tiny bit of fawn on my brush and wanted to just bring this a little bit over the highlight, just so that they blend really well together. One of my last steps I do like to take when I'm contouring and highlighting my face is to step back for a moment and really look at the mirror. Look straight at your face and see, okay, is this symmetrical to this? Do I need to add here and there? Such like that. I always pretty much find something that I could darken a little to match the other side. To add a little blush, I'm going to be using NARS Taos blush. It's broken, but that's the color. Just barely touch it to my cheeks. And just bring it pretty much barely over my contour. Just a little bit. I use most of the pigment on my actual cheek, and then I just use kind of the leftover to bring over. Also, while I'm at it, do you guys have that selfie face that, like you're looking in the mirror, and I always raise one eyebrow. No matter what. No matter what I do, I look in the mirror and just one raises. One raises. I even try where I'm like, oh my god, am I drawing on one super high? But that's like my selfie face. I hope you guys have one too. You know you do. You know you have one. Maybe it's not the eyebrow raise, but you've got one. You kind of like do your eyes, you smize. Smile with them eyes to look all sexy. We all have them. It's cool. No judgment. And that's it. That's how I contour and highlight my face. I hope you guys learned something. I hope that helped you guys if you're pale and you don't know what to do, or if you have a really round face like I do. I hope that did help. Who needs weight loss? Contour. That's what's up. That's where it's at. Contour. Yeah. Let's do it. As always, I will leave a list of all the products I used. I will also leave a list of the products I used as lipstick and such like that too, and the websites where to get them. Mumu and I love you, and we appreciate your support. He's pissed. He doesn't want to be here. Do you think I care?